Well, it's really Karan, Karan Sue Glispie, Glispie. September 1956, I was 5 years old. I would be 6 in October. It was me and another guy that was in our class. So my class was already 6 years old. Don't worry, because the ones that was a little older than me by months, we all played together. So I was a little shy, scared, because I was much smaller for me starting in school. So everybody pretty much made me the baby. 5 older than me in my family. One next to me, he started at Jonesborough Elementary in '62. Well, everybody that went to Booker T was close friends. I couldn't try to name off a lot more, but when we were out of school, in the wintertime, we always sleigh ride off, which is now, it was Greens Hill at the time, but now it's subdivision, but I can't think of the name subdivision. We played softball in a field on Depot Street during the summer. Cousin made a 12-person sled. Yeah, he built it himself. Now this was made out of wood. We put iron, the sleigh part that goes in the snow. But yeah, it's 12 people. One in the front and one in the back to guide it, and everybody else is in the middle. And you held on. Back then, nobody got hurt. Nope. I mean, we wrecked a lot when we used it on Greens Hill. Nobody got hurt. Did we play games in school? I think before I started, my oldest sister, I think she played basketball here, but we didn't have a basketball team that I can remember. Oh yeah, we always had recess. We went out in the back, right the back door, and that field down there, we always played down there and played baseball or kickball or just run around. I've always lived on Depot Street. We rode a bus came by. James Rollins drove the bus, and he would come from Limestone, Telford and all that, pick up all the kids there, and then he would come around on my street, Deep Street, pick us up, bring us to school. Me and my sister, we might have had to walk maybe 1 or 2 times to school, but that was always on the bus. One time me and my sister, we missed the bus, and we was on our way to school, and we came up Spring Street, came down Woodrow, come up, we always went out the road where Marcy lives, and we'd cross the track and we'd go down this little path. And a man had got hit on a train that morning that we missed the bus. We've seen parts of him. Don't know what time, but we walked into it. Kept walking to school. We, every morning when we come in, we'd always go to the gym. And we'd pray, we had our prayers, and then she always made us sing the Little Brown Church in the Wildwood. We always had to sing that every morning. So we'd do that and do Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'd come in, because this was the classroom for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, because we had tables. This little class was at their table. Yes, the kitchen was the next room over. Potty room was the other classroom. The kitchen was between that room. It's another room. It depended on what Miss Gertrude cooked that day. We always had real good lunches. She would be in here and she'd cook. She'd come in the morning and she'd cook. Sometimes if the older kids in the other classroom would sometimes have to go and help Miss Gertrude finish the lunch up. So it just depended on what Miss Gertrude cooked that day. We always had hot lunches. Pinto beans, chicken. Did we ever eat green beans? I think so. Gertrude Shanks. Brown did 1st through the 4th, and Miss Silvers did 5th through the 8th. Till I was 7th grade. Went to Jonesborough in '64, because Teresa was in the 7th, and me and Joan was in the 8th, and my sister and Yolanda was in the 10th. Then Yolanda and my sister had already went to Lanston in their 9th grade. But then we didn't go until the next year when Dad decided we was going to Jonesborough. The 5 that went, we felt all right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, everybody that went, when we went to Jonesborough, we knew everybody because they were our neighbors. We played together in the summertime, and then we went, so we pretty much knew just about everybody that lived here in town, Jonesborough. So we were fine with it. No, I did not. I was good. Really, I did not. I did not get in trouble. Well, see, for me and my sister and my brothers, we could not get in trouble because my dad worked for the city of Jonesborough. So we never was one of those that skipped school and picky like most kids do, because my dad would either see us or someone that knew my dad that knew us would tell it. So we couldn't skip school. Everyone that went here in the 8th grade, they always got at the end of school, they got where they would go to Lanston to visit. It'd be school day or whatever we call it. And they would go there. So when we come to school, the bus driver would take them all to Lanston, all the 8th graders. And they go tour Lanston, and they talked about how Lanston was and stuff. Then they were supposed to catch the city bus to back. But from the school to the bus station, that 8th grade class got in trouble because they were somewhere they didn't have no business being. So the lady called Miss Silvers, the principal at the time, and told her where they were at. So they had the little ones watching for the city bus down to see if they got off the bus. So we told on them. Because I tease my sister to this day. I said, boy, you didn't get 1 whipping, you got 2 whippings. Oh. We used to have this man that come, was it every month or every other month? And we always had to learn Bible verses. And he would come and then we would recite our Bible verses. We'd always get a little bitty Bible. But if you got so many points, I know we got that because we always got to go to summer camp at the end of the school year, because we always went to, and that had to do with the man that's coming to do the Bible verses and stuff. So we went to camp, I think it's Black Mountain. It was a campground up there, and we got to stay all week long. Played different games. We had Bible study, we had campfires. We sat out around the fire, but me and my sister went. Brothers was just the ones that was younger than me was too young. And then the other ones was too old. It's one thing my grandmother taught us growing up. You don't fight your siblings. Because if you get in a fight with your siblings, you get a whipping too. We all 8 of us has always gotten along good. Well, for us it was the older ones and then it was the younger. Four older ones, 4 younger ones. Nice. We're always pretty close. We still are, because usually during the holidays, sometimes all of them will be come home here. We're always together. So yeah, we had Weenie Roast, but it wasn't ever here. It was somewhere else, at somebody's just around in the neighborhood. I mean, really, truly, I was pretty much the pet. Let me sit on their laps. They treat all the older kids, the ones that was, let's see, my sister was young. She's 2 years older than me. So it's more like the kids that was 2 years older than her, or a year older than her. They always treated me like a baby. Well, my dad worked for the city of Jonesborough for 44 years on the water department. My mom, she tried to work for about 6 months of her life, and that didn't work out because my dad was, old school, and he's one of those that had to have your supper on the table at a certain time, 5 o'clock. When he got off work, he got home at about 5:05. We were all sitting down to eat supper every night. We ate breakfast. We was all sitting down to eat breakfast. So my mom really didn't work, so she was home all the time. To this day, they still say, well, you was always the baby. Me and my brother that's young, the youngest brother, they always tease us, the other ones do, always. It was pretty good. I said we're the only people, I think, that ever, as far as growing up, had slept in a house with no windows. Because my dad, like I said, if he got a wall hair, he was like, oh, I need to remodel this. He was always remodeling our house, always. Wow. And one time we didn't have windows in our house because he decided he was going to put new windows in the house. And sometimes he was one of those people too. He didn't meet a stranger, and people could come into town and he'd get to talking to them and they wouldn't have nowhere to stay. I bet you we had 10 people all our life growing up, strangers that lived at our house at one time or another, because we had an upstairs and a downstairs, and our downstairs had a kitchen, bathroom, living room, bedroom, you name it. They would live downstairs and we'd be upstairs. I bet I say about 10 strangers. We didn't see no difference in it. That was him. And Mama, like I said, we never knew what was going to go on in our house. Who was going to be there? I'm a little bit of both. As far as the not meeting a stranger, I'm more my dad. As far as no filter, I'm a little of my mama. Okay. So, I went to Marshtown College for a year and a half. I got wild. All black college. Yeah, I got wild down there, and we decided we were going to boycott the school. We took over the school and we just partied and had a good time for 3 days, and Alfred Gwendolyn Greenlee come and got me. Oh. You had to know my dad to ask me how that went over.
Okay. Not good?
Not good.
Not good.
I cannot remember what we was picketing for. I've got the newspaper article, because we made the newspaper. In County, we made the newspaper. It wasn't like a big school. It was a junior college because they had one girls' dorm and one boys' dorm. Maybe altogether it might have been 60, 70 kids went there, and I didn't get to go back no more. And then I had to go get a job. Got a job and started working, and then I went back to school maybe 10, 15 years later. I got my associate's degree in criminal justice. I met Noah in 1973 at his girlfriend's house. Well, the time it went over pretty good. Because I was with this friend, cousins to Noah's girlfriend. And we just happened to be out riding. We went to Bristol. She wanted to see her cousin. And that's where I met my husband. And we sat there all day and just talked and, whatever. And then the next weekend, he's at my door. And from then on, he'd come every weekend, and he was still with his girlfriend, and we went back and forth with each other for years. Oh. So he ended up, we was in and out, went on all the time. I guess 89, because we got married in 91. He asked me to marry him in 90, and it took me 6 months to say I do. No, he passed away 2 years ago. 32 years. Counted all together, we were together 40 years. Stopped going to Marshtown. I got a job at North Electric. It was which is for your time, baby. They had these little phones, these little tall phones, and they were, what were they called? And you picked it up, turned it over, and the rotary where you dialed your number was on the bottom of it. So we made the printed wiring boards to go inside these phones. That's what we did at North Electric. We made Birdie phones, that's what they were called. So we made those at North Electric, and I was there 7, 8 years. And then I left there, got laid off to a sewing factory. Went to a sewing factory. Then I went to Pharmacil that made the plastic gloves. And I stayed there until they shut down. And then that's when I went back to school. They paid for it, plus I still got an unemployment check. I'd say Pharmacil, because we were there, we were like one big family. All of us, we all worked, I worked third shift. So all of us on third shift I don't know, we were just like one big, all of us got along. See a lot of people that I work with at Pharmacil, I still see them every now and then. Yeah, because, you know, we had good supervisors. Everybody was just, we just all got along. The boys' bathroom was right here. You go in the boys' bathroom there, and the girls' bathroom was on this end. When you went in, we had a door that we could open and go out into the gym from the girls' bathroom. Yeah, it was the door right here when we go in off the stage. I think that's still there. That's where we went in on the stage. Because when I first came back here, I thought this gym was bigger. Because it's like, you know, you look in the cafeteria, it just seems bigger because the stoves and everything was here, and we had long tables. It just, I mean, I know this might sound crazy, but no, really didn't think nothing about it. I mean, Dad said this is where we're going to go, and we went, and wasn't waiting on the process. Because, and I think it's hard for people to think about, all the kids here in Jonesborough, we were all together. It wasn't a store on Main Street that I can remember that we could not go in. Yeah, I mean, where Mox is right now, there used to be Hibber's Drugstore. And it was a counter in there where you go get drinks and stuff like that. I don't remember going in and sitting down, but I remember going in and being able to buy something. It's like the Five and Dime, which is now the Christmas store. You know, I remember going in there and buying candy and not having a problem. I just can't think of any place on Main Street that we could not go in. And I might be wrong, but I don't remember that. But again, everybody knew my dad. So, because my husband, he's from Bristol, and stuff that he would say that they couldn't do, I was like, no, that didn't happen for us. So, because when they started school, I think they had problems. But for us, we didn't. Every Friday, we had spelling. You had to know your spelling words, because you always had a spelling test on Friday. So if you had 10 words or 12 words, you had to know how to spell every one of them. Every word that you got wrong, you got a whipping for. If you missed out 10 spelling words, you got 10 licks. Miss Silver's teacher, Miss Brown didn't do it, but Miss Silver's did. She would make us go out here on, I don't know what kind of tree it was, maple tree, I think it was. She'd make us get switches. And not one, you had to get two, because they had to be plaited together. Because I always tease Daddy about it for years. I said, back then, we were all abused children in school. Because if you do that now to a child in school, you're going to jail. But yeah, back then, I mean, we wasn't abused children, no means. But yeah, I said, oh, we was abused children, because I used to tell my dad that. I said, I believe we was abused because we didn't get this or we didn't get that. How most kids at home get stuff. When you do work, you know, you have to pay your kids to do work home. And I used to tease Daddy about that. And I said, we were abused children growing up. And his answer was, you put your feet under the table every day at 5 o'clock. Because none of my other siblings would do it. And for some reason, I was the lucky one. I can't call her name right now. Her sewer, the pipe bursted in her house. So, and my dad had me under the house pulling out them sewer pipes. Oh, I was grown then. It was probably 20s, 30s, somewhere in there. I think that's the reason why my other siblings left and went to the military. Because I stayed back, left.